Okay. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Hello, Miss Tiana. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I am excited that I'm doing this interview with you. It's the third one. So
Okay.
we
Yeah.
were at our NAVO board meeting planning session, and being that everything is digital now and online and through Teams or Zoom, we're like, how can we kind of get our members more engaged and sharing, their stories? And I'm like, well, we should just all kind of share our shit. And they were like, share your shit. Just let's just call it that. And you know me, I have a potty mouth anyway, so I was like, I'm cool with it.
No, I
And
think it's a really great
it
idea.
is, and I'm gonna be the shit stirrer. So we could get it started. So
Oh no.
exactly, in a good way. So, I know you personally. So, how
Yeah.
has the pandemic been to you personally? I know your son went away to college during the pandemic, and
Yeah.
your daughter's at
I
home.
lost my son.
I
No,
know. I feel like it was a soap opera.
no.
I was watching it play out.
Right. It's been really wonderful. Um, he is happy, which makes all the difference in the world. Um, he is content. He's like living his best life. So, you know, my whole thing with dealing with not having, my baby in the house, like I can deal with that. This is why we raise them, right? We raise them to be independent, to go off on their own, to do their own thing. And he's doing really well. I'm really happy for him. My daughter is left here without her big brother, so she's got to we're all just kind of navigating, trying to figure out how we navigate this new normal of a family of three. It's kind of weird, but I think we're doing it. We do different stuff that we never did when he was here. Like, dinner time was always really, really important. So we all sit at the dinner table and we're watching Gilmore Girls right now with my
Oh,
daughter. And
good.
so we're watching the whole season. So sometimes we'll be like, let's go and have our dinner in the family room and eat while we.
Which was like
So
a no-no when it was the first.
exactly. So we're doing stuff like that. But it's really nice that I get to actually get to like focus on one kid. There's something really special about that. So that's nice. And I'm being very intentional about that too.
That's awesome.
Because life is busy, but you become even more aware that you only have this limited time because he's already gone. So we joke with her and say she's gonna have to stay here and go to school.
Well, how lucky are you that he's driving distance, right?
I
I
know.
mean,
And we always wanted him to, we're like, oh, you grew up in Florida, you need to leave the state. And oh my goodness, I am so happy that he's here. We just took him to brunch and he's like, you can come here every week and take me to brunch if you want to.
spoken like a true broke college kid, right?
I know. But it's very, very comforting to have him here right now. Very comforting. So
Which is good.
anyway,
Which is
so
good.
yeah, I've been navigating. That's on the personal side. The professional side,
Yeah.
I have
How's
just
the comfort zone going there? Well, first,
well,
before you jump into that, I just want to make sure that everyone knows what you do.
oh, that's
Because
true.
I
You know what I do.
know what you do and how fabulous you are, but I really, I
Thank
think the
you.
good thing about these interviews is it gives people a broad, it's not so broad, it's more detailed, and you can really, hone in on exactly what you do. So why don't you share that with us?
Yeah. Okay, sure. I am a corporate communications strategist, and that means that I am about all things strategy. So I work with emerging businesses and nonprofits, and I help them match communications activities to their business goals. Most people, um, connect think of media when they think of public relations, and I really want to get not only the clients and companies we work for but PR people themselves to move beyond this PR equals media mindset. I want us to think about the broader impact that we can have when we go a lot deeper into organizations. So I consult with emerging businesses and nonprofits, and I also mentor PR and marketing consultants to deliver strategic services like corporate like communications planning and corporate messaging workshops so that they can increase their revenue with consistent 4 and 5 figure offerings. Because I found throughout my career that by focusing, I'm really passionate about this strategic work, but I've also found that it's allowed me to command higher fees because I'm doing this higher level work, and clients see the value in it. And then my passion work that I do is mentoring with entrepreneurs, like younger founders, through organizations like the Venture Mentoring Team. I'm a certified mentor with the Venture Mentoring Team, with the 1909 Accelerator in Palm Beach County, and with Radical Partners in Miami. And that's like heart work. I mean, these are people who inspire me so much because they either see a need in the community and decide, I need to do something to change this if they're a nonprofit, or they see a great opportunity and they know that, you know, they're passionate about it and they launch a business around it. I just spoke to a founder yesterday, and I'm so inspired by him. Like, he wants to help. And this was kind of like, what? I'm a Gen Xer. Gen Xers and boomers like learn computer skills, you know, and listening to him, like, he's an educator, so passionate. So I love doing that mentoring work with those different organizations. So that's the work that I do.
I find it interesting that as a PR professional, you just said something that I work with PR companies, because you would think there would be a mindset of competition, right? She's a PR, she does PR, she works in the industry. I'm a PR company. What value would she give to me? But I like that you said, because as a PR professional, I don't know where this ingrained training comes from, that everything has to equal media hits, right?
Yeah,
Everything is how much coverage, how much press, but like,
it's our own fault.
Yeah, I think it's a broader message. So can you just expand on that just a little? Because I wouldn't think that you know, a PR professional would want to work with other PR companies, but your passion for that seems just like it's screaming through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going for the same clients they are. I want to help them add greater value to the clients they have. So, you know, and I also have just this general belief that, you know, what God has for you is for you, and the value and expertise that you bring can't be replicated or duplicated by anyone else. So, you know, yeah, I guess they're competitors, but nobody's going to be able to do the work like I can do the work. I'm not going to be able to do the work like you can do the work. But, you know, I see myself really as like an educator, and drawing on, you know, 25 years of experience, and my background in corporate communications is working with a cross-departmental group of people: legal, marketing, product development, investor relations, and HR especially. So I've always worked in that realm, and I've seen the impact that I've had by having that cross-departmental approach. And when you kind of move beyond the PR equals media mindset, you just make yourself more valuable to organizations. So I'm so passionate. I want PR professionals to see that they can have that kind of broader, deeper impact. And you can do that through, you know, my main focus is through planning, like doing solid communications planning where there's research and you're going through those 4 stages. You know, there's research and you're using the research to make informed decisions about the planning process, where you're setting clear communications goals that are tied to corporate goals, that are tied to the corporate strategic priorities, where you're thinking about how are we realistically going to implement this? If we've got 2 people on our staff, how are we going to effectively navigate Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and manage employee communications and do partner, you know, so you've got to like think through and prioritize that stuff. So I'm just really passionate about us adding more value. And I think that we have to be trusted advisors to clients and the companies that we work for if we're in-house. And the way that we do that is by, you know, being very curious, right? Asking tons of questions, making sure that we understand the business as much as we can, because that's really where we can make give sound advice and counsel. And even if you are doing media relations, it's where you can craft the best stories because you know the organization inside and out. I can't tell you how many times I go through a communications planning process with a client. And even if we land on media relations as the channel that we need to nurture, the fact that I've gotten all this great data just helps me create amazing stories that, you know, I may not have had if I had just focused on the product or just focused on one individual. There's so much talent throughout companies. And anyway, I feel like I'm like really going on
No,
about this,
no, it's
but
great
there's
because
so much talent in companies and so many amazing things that employees do that should become a part of the corporate stories. And if we don't take the time to interview staff, right, to interview senior leaders, to interview customers, to interview partners, if you're a nonprofit, to interview funders, to really understand how they perceive the brand and what they bring to the table, I think we're doing ourselves and our companies and our clients a disservice. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. I just really, this is my way of making an impact and giving back with the work that I do.
and it's a shift, like you said, it's a mindset shift.
It
Um,
is.
you know,
It
from the
is.
top, from the top down, which is
And it's a money-making
it
shift,
is,
right?
it is,
It's a money-making shift. You
it
can
is,
command higher fees when you're having deeper impact and clients see the
100%,
value in it, right?
100%, and you know what you're worth, and then add
Mm-hmm.
tax, and then add
Exactly.
tax. So,
Exactly.
so you have this workshop that I've seen
Oh,
recently that you are doing a great job at promoting. So,
thank you.
yeah, you're doing a great job because I've seen it everywhere. So, I always talk to emerging businesses and then especially pandemic pivoting individuals now because
Mhm.
they're like, okay, maybe my company was doing this and now we have to kind of pivot and do
Yeah.
something else. So there's
I love
always,
that stuff.
yeah, right. So it always
Yeah.
comes down to like being obsessed with an idea versus passion. And do you
Hmm.
feel like it's not gonna, like, how do you drill down to say, this is the class that I'm gonna do, and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be, present, and I'm going to present this appropriately with the right message to make sure that your idea works, to make sure you have butts in seats, to make sure that you're getting the people that you want to sign up.
Yeah. Yeah, the corporate communications planning workshop I'm doing is really like the birth is like the child that was born of this idea. I woke up Tuesday morning 2 weeks ago and said, you know what, Jennifer, you've been talking about this for about a year now, either doing it with PRSA or you need to just do it, right? Just do it. I've always facilitated these workshops in conjunction with a partner organization. So like Nonprofits First or the Junior League in Boca. And I've been doing them for 10 years, but this is the first time that I've decided to like market it and do it on my own,
This
where
is your
I'm the one.
pivot a little, which is great. It's exciting.
Yeah, so it makes me feel good that you said I'm doing a good job with it because it's a lot of work. It's a
But
lot of
you're
work.
putting in the work because every time I go on, I'm like, there she is. I see
Yeah,
it.
but the key is the work I'm doing translating to butts and seats, and that's where I'm still challenged, right? So I've got signups, which is amazing. Very happy about that, but I want more. So it's an amazing workshop, though. But I decided to focus on communications planning because it's the foundation of everything that we do, right? I just talked to you about how I want to have this deeper, broader impact, and I want other communications professionals to do that too. And the way that we do that is by getting our company and clients to think about communications as a real strategy. And the way that we do that is by planning. So that's why I'm starting there. And then I also have, as you know, the corporate messaging program I teach. It's a mentoring and an online program. It's a 5-week program. And that's a part of communications planning, right? So you need to have the communications planning piece before you can do the corporate messaging piece. So in my mind, it's an opportunity to engage with people who might be interested in the corporate messaging program as well. So yeah, but I'm not sure. I am. It's hard for me to use the word obsession. I kind of prefer the word passion. I'm passionate about about the work that I do, and I think that that passion like breeds the curiosity for my ideas. Passion keeps me motivated and always striving to do really great work, and curiosity keeps me asking questions and wanting to learn. Maybe that translates into obsession too, but I kind of like, I like the word passion
I do too.
better for me, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
So when I first met you at PRSA, I remember saying, okay, there's more chips in this cookie. Yes, I'm not the only one.
That's the way that you phrase
You
it.
know,
This
so
is
I was
sweet.
like,
I
yes,
know.
there she is. Okay, because listen, there were two of us in the room, and
Yeah.
that was really it. So
Yeah.
I was excited, and then I said, and she does a great job at programming. Like the speakers have been stellar.
Thank
So,
you.
and then you started to talk about this course that you wanted to do, and you're gonna rebrand and do your website. And I was like, okay. And you were talking about it and talking about it. And then you finally, I remember you were like, I'm in the process of building it out and I'm doing it. So what was the deciding factor? Was it fear to focus? Was it fearful that, okay, I've been working, because you've worked for some major Fortune 500 companies, you've done some great projects. So you have a lot of that industry knowledge over 20 plus years under your belt, and you're used to that corporate environment. So
Yeah.
was the fear of like, damn, I'm launching this on my own? And then how did you kind of take that fear and focus it and fine tune it to this really kind of, I don't want to say gift in a box, but this stellar product that you have now,
You,
service?
you know, it didn't stem, it wasn't born of fear. It was born of a bit of frustration, actually. It was born of from a bit of frustration.
Spoken like a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, it was born from a bit of frustration. Like I said, I've been doing like this kind of planning and implementation work with clients forever. And I think you also get to this point in your life, because I was about to turn the big 50. You get to this point in your life, like, you know, have I really made enough of a difference? Have I made enough of an impact? Like, people are hiring me to do this work when it's not rocket science. They should really be able to just do it themselves. So why don't I just teach them how to do it themselves? You know, that's and that way they'll be more invested in the process. They grow, right, professionally. So it really grew out of a bit of frustration. Like, you know, if you're gonna really see this thing through, right, it, it's helpful if you learn it yourself, right? So it's kind of like, you know, teach a woman to fish, she'll eat for a lifetime kind of thing,
I
you
hear
know? So that's where the corporate messaging program, that's where that idea really flourished. And you know, I could have easily have started with communications planning, because as I said, that's like the foundation for everything. But I decided to I was very intentional about choosing the 5-week online program as corporate messaging, because it doesn't matter how amazing any plan you have is, if you don't understand who you're talking to and what you need to say to them, everything just falls flat. So you have to, so the program helps you prioritize target audiences and figure out the messaging that's going to motivate them to act, to do whatever it is that you want them to do. What is it that you want them to do? If it's a reporter, it's write a story. If it's an employee, maybe become more engaged with your mission. If it's a funder, it's to give more money. If it's a partner, it's to partner with you so you can grow your business. If it's a customer, it's to buy your stuff. And so that's where that idea came from. And you know, it took me 3 months, I think, to write. I started writing that whole online program as a script, because my mind works better with words. And I started writing it as a script, putting in like the visual pieces. Oh, I could be on video here. I could, you know, and so I started, it took me about 3 months to do that. And then I had to shoot the videos. So I hired this great videographer to shoot the video. And then, and then I launched it to crickets. Okay. Launched it to crickets. And that's why this has all been such an amazing journey, because I launched the thing to crickets and I realized I'm an amazing writer, but I don't know how to write for marketing. You know, I'm not a marketing writer. I don't know how to write to sell.
Right.
And this journey of learning how to write, to market and sell a product has just been wonderful. So what did I do? I did what I'm trying to get people to do. I enrolled in some professional development stuff to help me. I started working with Danielle Leslie, who has this amazing program, Course from Scratch. Took me through, like, I learned so much from Danielle. Jennifer, done is better than perfect. Like, I also, done is better than perfect. You've got something amazing to sell to the world. Not only is your product a benefit, but you are a benefit to people, right? So she has, has you think through your culture ads. How do I, because a lot of times people will do business with you, not for the thing that you're teaching, because they like you, right? They like working with you.
Right.
Right. So what are those things that I can bring forward about myself that maybe people don't know about? And how do I use that in my content? So long story short, I went through that process and ended up with my first cohort. I sold the program. So it was amazing. It was wonderful. So I started off with a group of 5, finished that program in March, and then COVID happened. But the beautiful thing is that the students who went through that, all senior level marketing and marketing, not just PR, marketing and PR professionals, both in-house and consultants, went through that, and we're still meeting every other week, right? Still have this little like mastermind group. So anyway, from that process, I learned about another woman. Her name is Eleanor Strong, who I just think she's fascinating. She focuses on how to communicate the work that you do, where you are where you understand the pain points that your target customers have, and the point A and the point B that they need to get to, but that the gap that's preventing them from getting there is what you fill, right? So they have everything that they need to be successful, except that one unique thing that you bring to the table. So what does that mean? That means then that when I write my content, I need to be writing to those people, right? So if I know that if I know that the people who are most likely to be successful in my program have to have clients, then I need to write that. You can't come to the table if you're not, So qualifying the people who are uniquely situated to benefit and succeed with what you have to offer. It's just been a wonderful journey. I mean, I learned Canva, I'm learning editing.
Stuff, right? Listen, you went through a hair transformation.
I went through a hair.
That's a big deal. You're like, it's so,
it's just me being completely and totally my authentic, true self, right? That's so, yeah, the hair is, we cannot underestimate like how important, like something as seemingly inconsequential as your hair has such a huge statement for Black women.
100%.
And, it was just time. I had gone natural before when I was having my daughter, because I said, if I'm going to have a daughter, I want her to know that however her hair looks, that it's okay, Then I got sick of it because it's a lot of work and went back to straight, and you know the story.
Hence the sister locks, okay? So
exactly.
It is a story, and the fact that I was able to watch this play out digitally, which is a story in itself.
Kind of interesting
so
to hear you say
that, because you were just like, I'm doing it, I've decided, and you like put it out there, and you're like, whatever happens, happens, and you went from this much to like this much to the beautiful. Now to like, I'm not dying it anymore, to like, I'm doing the
that may still happen.
Okay.
Don't get that twisted.
Well, I stopped dying, so
I don't know. My mother told me I shouldn't, but
I know. I'm embracing my silverness, But
I'm waiting for the lion's mane. It's just gonna keep on going out.
Great. And the fact that you said that's so important for our culture, that our hair is like, it's like the window to like who we are, seriously. And it will make or break a day, honey. It will make or break a day.
And what's so wonderful is that we have this wonderful ability to to express ourselves in so many different ways creatively with our hair. I could be straight tomorrow if I wanted to. I could do braids. I could, and I love that. I love that flexibility and that variety. And it really, now that I'm just thinking about it now, like it really speaks a great deal to who I am, like I love change and spontaneity.
I watched it play out these last several months, and I was like, "You go, girl!" And you were sharing. And I think by you doing that, you probably attracted an audience that you didn't know you did.
Maybe
And probably attracted different types of followers and different people looking at you different because you were going through your own journey.
What I do notice, and I'm actually really proud of this. I think that seeing someone who looks like me in the different mentoring groups I'm in definitely makes a difference. There's a level of comfort and a level of and it's I'm gonna cry because it's makes me feel a sense of responsibility as well.
Yeah.
But also something that I love. Like I'm happy that I can be there when there are, Black and brown founders who choose me as their mentor. And I know one of the reasons why they choose me. I'm a woman, and the men choose me too. I'm a woman,
right,
I'm Black.
Right.
I don't know, maybe it's the hair. You never know. Maybe I should ask them.
Why did you choose me? Right.
Yeah. I mean, of course, then also it's the expertise I bring to the table, right? Like a lot of if they need support with communications, but yeah, oh man, they feel me so much more than I think I'm feeling them. Like I am so inspired. I mean, there are people doing meditation and it's just amazing. It's amazing the creativity that's in the Tri-County area in South Florida. Like amazing. Like I'm so happy to be a part of these organizations, Radical Partners of Venture Mentoring Team and 1909 Accelerator, where I just can rub shoulders with all this creativity like that's in our community. It's just wonderful.
Well, when I interviewed one of our other NAVO members last week, Alexis, she had her Black Girl Magic mug. So I was like, you put it, I had to say that. So there's not many Black communication / PR professionals that I've run across, which is why I think I navigated to you so quickly. Was one, I was like, she's one of us, and two, you were just so very open and inviting and knowledgeable. And I have met probably, I can count on my hand, probably under 5 communications PR professionals in South Florida that are Black. Think about it. That there's probably about 5 that I know that I could truly they are really, concrete, valid.
They definitely don't go beyond the 2 hands.
100%. And that says,
my goodness.
Right. And I
we've got some work to do.
And that's why when you said that, I said, we do have some work to do. Because, being a woman-owned, period, and then being a Black woman-owned business, you have a legacy for your daughter and your son.
Setting an example.
Setting an example. So how do you, during this pandemic, and having her see you now a little bit more clearer because her big brother's gone, and it's kind of this, how has a shift happened in terms of, you having more conversations with her in terms of legacy, and this is what we have to do as women, and have those conversations happen in terms of work and your journey and your goals and your passion?
I don't know that we talk specifically about this because my daughter is like Black Girl Magic on steroids.
A rock star. I know. She already has her own cupcake business, so she's already light years ahead of where I was.
Sophia is rocking it. She just finished an order of 50 cupcakes last week. That girl is, which I guess means I've modeled well, but I can't even take full credit for. I mean, she is just who she is. You know, she's an amazing human being. Both of my kids are amazing human beings. I am humbled by how amazing they are. The kindness, the work until she gets that. Her work ethic is like off the charts. And this has been it's been a very difficult and trying time for her. She's extroverted in a way that I am not, and I don't think my husband is either. So we don't know where that comes from. She's an extrovert, so it's been very difficult. Virtual school has been tough for her.
For her,
We
socially, right?
Yeah, we've been having a lot of conversations about focusing on gratitude, making sure that you think every day about something positive that's happened because she is over it. She is she's over it.
They all are.
So our conversations lately are just about me trying to continue to fill her cup, and helping her, and honestly helping her find ways to, when they were babies, like they would talk about finding ways to self-soothe.
Yes.
So finding ways for them to self-soothe. So I'm trying to give her tools like breathing exercises she can do, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, journaling, stuff that she's grateful for, all of that. So that's really the focus of our conversations. But she's still putting in 150%. She still wants to be on Broadway. She's still taking her voice lessons. She's still got her cupcake business. She's still doing her thing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You talked about all of the great organizations that you're a part of, and mentoring, and then your daughter, the having, the introvert versus extrovert. So that leads me to having a tribe versus going at it alone. So
Yeah.
So it seems like you have a nice support system of people.
I've actually cultivated it during this time. Like I told you, I did the Danielle Leslie thing. I've been following along, and I've been actively bringing women into my circle, men into my circle, professionals into my circle who feed into me. Nabo is definitely one of those. I finally have been able to like give attention and come to the meeting.
I know. We're like, where the hell is she been, man? We love it.
PRSA stuff is, I love PRSA and I love the work I'm doing there, but I was just stretched, and I was also in anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm here now. But yeah, I've cultivated it. I have a business coach. I've invested in my business. I've invested in people to help me. I have an accountability partner. I meet with a meeting with her today at 5:00. Like we meet every week. What have you been working on? What are you going to work on? Did you do what you said you were going to do? That's an amazing benefit to me. So yeah, I definitely have a tribe of people. I have close friends as well in my family who feed into me constantly. And that's really important, especially when you're working on your own. You need you need it, and on the other hand, I also have made sure to set aside time in my calendar to not be for no interruptions. I've always talked about doing that. Now I am intentionally doing that. Like Mondays, you probably won't get a meeting with me on a Monday.
Yeah, you're like, not happening.
I try to use my Mondays for thinking and strategizing and planning time. And Fridays is also a good time for that as well. So yeah, it's important for me to have that connection. And then also one of the other things that I've done that has just been a game changer for me, Tiana, is creating a morning ritual. And I was inspired to do this also by Danielle Leslie, right? Like creating my morning ritual. And so I make sure, because I love this time of the morning, I wake up before everybody else does. I have this
your tea.
I have my green tea, meditation. I do Bible study and prayer. I journal. I think about what I want. I visualize. Like the visualization thing is just something I've started to do in the last 6-7 months. No, longer than that. Just before I had my first cohort, visualizing like I'm gonna have 5 people in this program. I'm visualizing what I want my life to be. I just did a visualization this morning. How I want to feel when I finish the day. When I put down the laptop and computer and walk away from my desk, how do I want to feel, right? I want to feel accomplished today. What is it going to take to make me feel accomplished? Well, I've got like 6 things on my to-do list. You were on my to-do list today. I got 6 things on my to-do list. So how can I do those? And just finding and discovering and being committed to meditation has been a game changer for me. Like the focus and the creativity. And when I don't do it, I notice it. And also exercise.
Yes.
The exercise is critical.
Yes, I agree.
Exercise is critical. Some days, I know in the early months of the pandemic, I would realize that I had been so heads down that I hadn't even gone outside for like 3 days. And I would notice that something was like wrong in my spirit or in I was like, we have got to get outside.
Well, I remember those because you would post like beautiful flowers and you'd be like, step in my backyard today, having a cup of tea, enjoying the sunshine, and it's
I make sure I take a walk. I make sure I walk. And then I get outside. And I don't know. Have you been outside lately? The weather's beautiful. Like
beautiful.
And these nice breezes.
For
you can
a short
tell.
amount of time, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. I know.
In short bites.
I can sense the cooler weather's coming.
Listen, I cannot wait. And you look at, like I said earlier, you make me want to pour a nice glass of Merlot.
As soon as official fall comes, I pull out my fall colors. I'm still,
It's like day one, and you're like, here I am. I love it. It's always so nice catching up with you.
This has been wonderful.
I know. I think this is great that you're taking the time to share with us because, unfortunately, I've been a member of NABO for double digits. So everyone, they know my crap, right? But it's so nice and refreshing to really get a take on our new members and members who we don't hear from a lot and really get a deep dive on them personally and their businesses. So I 100% thank you for taking the time because I know your time is precious. It is.
We're about to start again.
It is. You're like 1 o'clock is my lunch. I know you. You're like from 1 to 1:30's lunch, 1:35. I'm back in front of the computer. I know you. But you have to be intentional, like you said.
Yeah, I do. I do.
All we have.
You know why? Also because 6:30 rolls around. Like we've actually agreed 6:30, but 6:30 rolls around. She comes standing here, mommy.
What's for dinner?
You said you were gonna stop working at 6:30.
Oh, and you're like, I know, one more email, one more.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how she has you on a timer and you're trying to send that last email?
It's good though, because she's making me stick to my agreement. Family time. Get off.
Your accountability.
Mm-hmm. I got accountability kid.
Exactly. I love you. Hashtag. Next time she's in, you post with her. Here's my accountability kid.
Hashtag accountability kid. That's great.
When she's standing over you, you need to take a selfie and be like, the warden's here. I love that.
Yes. All right. This was great.
This was great. So I cannot wait to share this with everyone. Thank you so much. And I will see you at the next NABO meeting.
Yes. Yes, you will.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.